Hi guys, and welcome to the Ipswich vs Sunderland match review, where Sunderland have just got beat by 2-1 in a game in which I think I'm going to largely blame and put the blame on Beale for this. It was an absolute Beale disaster class, as the thumbnail does suggest. And what I mean by that is tactically inept, and the changes and substitutions he made, the actual substitutions themselves and the timing of his substitutions were nothing short of baffling for me. And he killed the game dead when we had any form of momentum, which again I'll get into in just a little while. But getting into the game, Ipswich, of course, it's not going to be an easy game. I say this at the beginning of every review because it never is an easy game. But I probably would have even been quite happy with a draw against Ipswich. They're a very good side. They were going into this game without a winning 5. And of course, the stat was getting thrown about that, whenever we have taken the lead, we haven't dropped any points this season when we've got in front first. And of course, that happens on the Sky cameras. Of course, that's obviously going to happen. Always does when shit like that comes out. But we went into the game. The one change we do make is Rusyn comes off and Abdullah Bar comes on. Now, at first, I was fuming with this because Rusyn, he gets his first goal in the league. Of course, we'll throw away the FA Cup game. That's done. But in the league, Rusyn just got himself off the mark, looking decent, and then he kills any momentum of that continuing by putting him on the bench and bringing on Abdullah Bar, who has been one of the worst players for us so far this season. He keeps on getting streaks in the side, and the only one good game he has had is against Southampton. Other than that, he has been god-awful. So that was a baffling decision there and then. But we get into the game, and Abdullah Bar was brilliant. He was really, really good. I will happily go back. Well, I'm not going back on something because he has been shit this season. But I will happily, be made to look daft if a player is going to come and prove me wrong. I've been thinking Abdullah Bar's shite, but every now and then, and today he proved it, he does have a bit of something, and he was looking good. On that right-hand side, he was an outlet, and he was eating Edmondson alive. He was making him look daft at times. He was taking the ball past him, and whenever Edmondson just couldn't stop him, he'd bring him down, got himself in the book, and he looked fantastic on the right-hand side. Now, anyway, the first half, very end-to-end, definitely two sides that love to attack, and for the neutral, it was probably great. For a Sunderland fan, it was hearts in mouth type thing constantly. But the first goal, it does come to us. Now, Jack Clark had a similar chance not too long before this. They'd had chances with a great block from 09 early doors, which could have probably resulted in a goal. I think there was a good 3 or 4 last-ditch blocks from 09, who needs to be given a lot of credit. But again, we're going to get into that shortly. There was one chance that did fall to Clark in the box, and the keeper, and I noticed this on the TV as well, and the Sky commentators noticed it as well. A good couple of times when Clark did hit the ball first time on the left-hand side of the box, the keeper has already dived. He predicts that he's going to go in the far corner. And the first one, he does dive, but it actually goes down the centre and he sticks out a leg, and he does manage to just about get it away. But this second time, he takes a touch after a brilliant mazy run from Abdullah Bar on the right-hand side. And it comes in and out about 3 or 4 different Ipswich players, lays it off to Clark, takes one touch on the edge of the box, and then pings it into the top left-hand corner to make it 1-0. Fantastic start. Let's not piss it up. A few minutes later, they break forward. And to be fair to 09, who a lot of people online got on his back for this, and honestly, I do not understand why the fuck they've blamed 09 for this. So they're coming straight down the middle. The pass straight through the middle of our defence takes 2 separate deflections. Wrong foot's 09, and if you've played the game of football, that is impossible to judge. When you're wrong-footed, you're wrong-footed. You can't do jack shit about it. But it goes round 09, and then it falls to the striker, who it's a brilliant finish to make it 1-1. So our celebrations are cut short. But Equa in the build-up was poor. Equa throughout the entirety of the game, I must say, was poor. What kept on happening, we keep on seeing, and I keep on saying all the time, that his chronic lack of urgency is going to kill me. It's going to be the death of me, that man. I tell you, for the perfect example was he picked the ball up on the edge of our own box and he's done a little pirouette around the Ipswich player. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Now quickly, get the ball away or give it a simple pass. But what does he do? He pirouettes his man and he waits. And he waits. And he thinks when he's nicked the ball off a player or took the ball past a player that everything behind him disappears and now he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He does it all the time and it's so annoying, frustrating. And you can't even just say it's his agent or the lack of games. He knows at the pace of the game, as soon as you nick the ball off a player, that they don't completely just become fucking deceased. Do you know what I mean? And they disappear in the vanish to thin air, like, oh, that's completed now, that's done. I don't need to worry about that. Of course you do. And the amount of times where he did it a good 4 or 5 times in this game, he nicked the ball well, then he stops, stands, looking, where shall I do? Where shall I put this ball? What do you reckon? Bang, ball's nicked off him. Then they're going. Over and over again it was happening. But either way, yeah, so half time, 1-1. The second half comes out and it probably swung just about in Ipswich's favour, but we were making chances of our own, as were they. And then the Michael Beale disaster class just starts to rear its head. So he brings off Abdullah Bar, who on the right-hand side, as I say, was our main outlet. Job, who we keep on shoehorning up top, by the way. And although there is a player in there, and I think he is a good player, he hasn't been good for a while. He just hasn't. He hasn't done much. Up top today, in the first half, he did next to nothing. The one thing I will say that he did give us was that outlet over the top. And every time when we would ping it over the top, maybe a dive ball to try and, spray the play or something like that, he will get in behind and he can hold up the play because he's got a bit of a frame. Other than that, nothing. So anyway, second half, he brings off Abdullah Bar, our only real outlet, because Jack Clark, other than his goal, is getting doubled up on and sometimes tripled up on, and he couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything, Jack Clark, which is all credit to Ipswich. Great defending. But, and for me, and I keep on thinking this, surely, and this is literally Sunday League tactics, rotate the wingers, make them think, chop and change, and just keep on doing that. Maybe Pritch go on the left-hand side, Clark drift into the middle, or Abdullah Bar, who was on the pitch at one point, you go on the left, Clark go on the right. Chop and change and make them think, rather than just conceding to the fact that Clark's our best player. Obviously, everyone's going to, pile the men over him on that side. Make him think. It's so easy to deal with. We just keep on just thinking and just thinking, right, okay, there's 3 men on him. We'll give it him sometimes, and he should be able to do something. It's fucking impossible to try and, at times, when he got the ball, I felt sorry for him. Because Alessi, bless it, who was very good to be fair tonight, Alessi, for Potts anyway, going forward, he'd give it to Clark, but then he kind of stands still, and Clark has like 3 men around him, so he has to come backwards, which isn't what we want Clark to be doing. He needs a bit more of an overlap, and Alessi in the second half did try and do that a few times, to be fair to him. But anyway, back to my original point. Beale decides that our one real outlet, our one genuine outlet and threat, we need to bring him off. Bring Abdullah Bar off, and I'd understand a little bit if it was we're going to throw a striker at it. We don't. We leave the other strikers on the bench. Bring Al-Shish on. Al-Shish, within seconds of coming on, we do really well. We nick it off them as they're trying to play it out from the back. Gives it into Al-Shish. Penalty spot. He's just 1-on-1 with the keeper. Takes one touch, which isn't the greatest, which puts the ball into the air. Sort of on the half volley. Either side of the keeper. 2-1, and it's brilliant. And he pings it way wide. So that's Al-Shish's first touch, pretty much. His second touch is to give away a needless free kick. The ball is going out for a throw-in in Ipswich's favour in our half, but the Ipswich player is ushering it out. He's going to let it go, let him do it, but he just throws himself into him and pushes him over, gives him a free kick. But that doesn't excuse the horrific defending that followed. So they put the cross in. It's not a bad ball, but even on the replay, no one is marking Chaplin. It's not like someone that starts with Chaplin and then lets him go. Not one fucker decides to go with Chaplin, who, by the way, is tiny. But just because he's tiny doesn't mean he doesn't count. He doesn't work like that. Totally free header to make it 2-1. So literally, Beale's taken off our one outlet. The one player he did bring on, which of course I know you can't exactly bloody predict, but he's brought off our one outlet to Al-Shish, who's absolutely been our downfall at this point. But he's just watched us absolutely fold. He's watched the team slowly collapse, and he's waited until they've scored, and we are on our fucking knees until he thinks, yeah, do you know what this game needs? A fucking striker. Do you know what I mean? He's a moron. I think he's an absolute moron. And he waits until I think it was the 83rd, 84th minute, and he brings on Roos in. It's too late. It's just too late. And then like the 92nd minute for Burstow. Tactically inept, absolute shite. It's absolutely Beale's fault. He destroyed us. He absolutely destroyed us from the sidelines there. Shocking. And, I know he hasn't been here long, but if anything, we look worse. We do look worse. We're having less possession in games now. We're looking slower on the ball. And I'm just now starting to worry, and I'm not going to go too overboard because Ipswich are a very good team, and losing there's nothing to be embarrassed about. They're a good side, but in the game in which we did show so much for such a significant chunk, and then he decided to bring off any outlet that we had, watched us die off, and then brings on strikers. I'm starting to get concerned that this team is going to start regressing until it's too late, and then eventually we say, oh shit, maybe it was the wrong decision, because he's showing nout for me at the moment, absolutely nout, and I'd love to see the excuses he has for this one, but it is what it is. Positives, Abdullah Bar looked brilliant. That's probably about it, to be honest with you. Yeah, O'Nien made a good 3 or 4 really good blocks, and yeah, that was one point, and I did say it on social media, with Luke O'Nien, the agenda against that lad at times, it is absolutely laughable. O'Nien, I know full well, and I'm not blind to it, and I can say it with other players, like with Equa, if he's class, I will say he's class when he has put in class performances. When he's shit, I will say he's shit. If anyone makes a mistake, I will say they've made a mistake, I'll point it out. O'Nien puts in largely, consistently, very good performances, and you don't hear a word from anyone. You don't hear jack shit from anyone. And people just wait, and they can't wait to put any blame on the lad. Or as soon as he does anything bad, which he hasn't today, and put a fucking foot wrong in my eyes, tonight anyway, nothing, absurdly noticeable. That goal, I don't think it was his fault, how he could, when you've got, wrong-footed like he did in the build-up to the equaliser, and the amount of people thought, O'Nien, shit, that's all O'Nien's fault. Are you having a laugh, man? Come on, literally any excuse to get on him. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. It's like, again, like for example, like with Abdullah Bar, I think he's been terrible. But that don't mean I'm not going to shy away when I say he does something great and he's brilliant. Again, the same with Luke O'Nien. I know he can be a liability. When he makes a mistake, I'll say he's made a fucking mistake. But it's not a, it's not a coincidence that every manager that's been there keeps him there at centre-back. He's a very good player. And I think we just need to some people need to swallow their pride and realise it and stop trying to give the shit you give him any possible opportunity. I just don't understand it. But either way, that's that. A bit of a rant over. But yeah, we got beat 2-1. It's not good. I just don't understand the chopping and changing of Abdullah Bar coming off, and then when he does bring on a striker, the one player you want to be feeding the striker is Pritchard, and he brought Pritchard off. He's just an idiot. He is just an idiot. Fuck me, it's just such basic shit that you'd think someone who plays fucking FIFA would know. Do you know what I mean? Jesus. Either way, 2-1, need to get our heads back up and quickly, because now we drop out the outside the playoffs, given Coventry's really good result against Leicester today. Some really difficult games ahead, but we do have a handful of home games which we need to make the most of. But that's it, guys. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. But if you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Take care. Stay jammy.